Good afternoon, LinkedIn. Good afternoon, Facebook. Good afternoon, the world. Coming up today on today's Gritty Business Show, we have Tristan from Shout Cyber, also Lucia from Sonic Web Design. Hi guys, only myself today. Maybe Ed will be here in a little bit, but good to see you and welcome to the Gritty Business Show. Like I say, coming up very soon, we've got Tristan to talk about all things cyber and obviously with the current affairs at the moment, what's happening in Russia and the big wider world in Ukraine. So it'd be interesting to find out what Tristan's thoughts are with the current cyber threats. Also coming up a little bit after that is Lucia, who's an expert photographer and web designer. So we'll be talking all things coding and what 3 things we should be doing to think about when we're designing our first website or getting our website rebranded. So that's coming up soon. But in the meantime, we've got some exciting news. We have a new community platform being delivered at the Cobra Club. So what I'm going to do is play this VT, and then if anyone's got any questions out there, or if anyone wants to shout out or wants to come and get involved, say hello in the chat. We'll give you a big shout out, and we'll look forward to sort of engaging with you throughout the show. Come and ask Tristan some questions, come and ask Lucia some questions. We've got it all going on today, so hang around. We'll be here in a moment. So okay guys, so I'm going to play this VT and we'll see you in a moment. So there you have it, folks. That's the latest news. The Cobra Circle community is nearly upon us. And we're looking at a release date of the 22nd of this month. So for all those Cobra Club members, next level engagement is about to arrive. And anyone else out there interested, please do contact us at www.thecobraclub.co.uk or alternatively, andrew@thecobraclub.co.uk. Brilliant. Right, okay, I think it's time to move on, and what we're going to do now, we're going to play a little VT, and when we come back in the room, we are going to have Tristan Hillard-Smith who's going to be shouting about cyber, so looking forward to that. So we'll see you in a moment, folks. Good afternoon, Tristan.
Afternoon, Andrew. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you, and welcome to the Gritty Business Show live on LinkedIn. First time on the live show?
It is, yes. Although not for lack of trying on everybody's part, I think. But no, glad to be here. Although we need to put a big shout out for Ed to get him to come and join in as well.
Absolutely. Ed, where are you? Come back. All is forgiven.
I've scared him off, obviously.
Yes, I think that last meeting was probably finished him off. But anyway, not to worry. So if anyone is out there watching and have got any questions on cybersecurity, information governance, GDPR, you name it, how to cut through the geek speak, so to speak, then Tristan is your man. So please pop your questions in the comments for Tristan. So what we normally do, Tristan, is ask a little bit about yourself and your background, and how you've led out to be the Shout Cyber expert.
So my background career has been within IT, and that's been the last 15 odd years of my life, and that I've done a little bit of everything in that time, from first line support and looking after customers and their needs, and help, my computer's broken, or I've dropped it down the toilet, or something similar to that, all the way through to looking after infrastructure, networks, leading an IT department with both systems and software development projects. So that's been a sort of the last sort of 15 years. I was very fortunate that I worked in an organization that did an awful lot of work that was very diverse. They had quite a few different product sets, and that was a great learning curve. And also working with a lot of clients in FTSE 100, 250, aerospace and defense. So obviously the security requirements from those are quite significant, which is sort of what brought my sort of expertise really into the information security, cybersecurity sphere.
Yeah, that's quite good. I mean, the main thing, I suppose, in that the pick up on, yes, it's top level security, but B, it's let's say a really broad range of clients. I suppose you're seeing all sorts of threats and issues from the smaller companies without probably a lot of support or even finance to sort these things out, to the ones where they've got millions to spend on it, I suppose.
Absolutely, and that's why I started Shout Cyber about 3 years ago, because working within the small business sort of sector, there isn't a lot of support for those businesses. There's lots of advice out there, absolutely, if you're willing to go look for it, you're willing to search for it. But especially when you're working in a small startup or a scale-up business, there's a lot of other priorities that you've got to work through. So Shout Cyber's really there to start that kind of pragmatic advice and support, and really help businesses to sort of get those right practices in place.
So if I'm a smallish company, I think it's cyber, information governance, security, why do I need it? We've been all right so far, but what are the current threats we're seeing at the moment? And obviously there's a little turmoil in the world at the moment. So what's happening out there, and why do people need it? The smaller guys.
So I think that the sort of everything that's going on in the world at the moment, especially with Ukraine, what we're seeing at the moment is a lot of pro-Russian hacktivism and hacking groups that are sort of very active in trying to almost gain access to UK assets, UK kind of infrastructure, and a lot of advice and a lot of alerts that are sort of going out around, especially at the moment, are around that type of news. Now, how that actually affects small businesses, lots of people would think, well, okay, government websites are going to be targeted, or government departments, or MOD, or those types are going to be targeted. But actually, these kind of hacking groups want to have a foothold in the UK. They want to use UK infrastructure, UK devices. So they will target UK individuals, and it's a very sort of this type of attack anyway. Even before Ukraine, it's very scattergun. So you could, lots of small businesses fall into that trap of feeling that I'm too small, I'm not going to be targeted, I'm not, there's no threats that really directly relate to me. And I think we saw even before Ukraine, we've seen 2 years ago with when COVID struck, the pandemic struck, the types of attacks that really started to sort of ramp up, and they're very scattergun. So they're non-targeted, they're automated, and a lot of it, over 90% of that is targeting individuals via, fake emails, fake websites, those types of what we call phishing.
And what are they going to do once they've got this? Are they going to hijack your payment system? Are they going to lock you out? What's?
Well, the motives are sort of, there's quite a few different motives that malicious actors like to use. But probably the broadest, the broadest three are they want to take over your accounts. So I mean, sort of like your email account or your social media, or heck, even your LinkedIn or other profiles like that, to perhaps farm the sort of data that you have or your contacts, so that they can use that to spread out to other businesses. So there's a lot of what we call now business email compromise attacks. The other side of that is they want to get hold of credentials for your systems, so they can gain access into that as well. And of course, there's always the motive of financial gain. So if they do sort of manage to trick you into providing details, they may send out fake invoices from email accounts, or try to make malicious payments or false payments, or various things like that. They may just want to infect your computer with ransomware as well. That's the other, that's always something as well, to try and extort money out of you.
If they're not attached to Swift, they ain't going to get the money, are they?
Well, I think there's ways and means, Andrew. If
sure.
They wanted to. Bitcoin is obviously that is regularly used by hackers, and effectively it's not going to be affected by those types of things. Anyway, so you're absolutely right there.
So if you had to give 3 top tips, or some top tips, what we've got to do to prepare, hold your horses, but what would that top tip be?
I love those VTs. So my top 3 tips, especially at the moment, would be around, be aware of and be on the lookout for these types of what we call phishing emails. So, and they are becoming a lot harder to spot, and it's, to a certain extent, impossible to spot them all. But the things to look at for suspicious emails is, it's around, have a look at the email address it's being sent from. So is it a domain that you know and trust? So is it coming from the Cobra Club, or is it coming from the Cobras Club? For example, or Giggle instead of Google, for example. Does it contain any attachments or any links that you can actually sort of, immediately start to think, oh, is this a little bit suspicious? You can always hover over email links, see what they're all about, and where they want to take you to. So you get a bit of an element there. So be on the lookout for these types of attacks, because they are obviously becoming much more prevalent. The other tip I would have is around backups, and it's something that we all fall into this kind of perhaps a bit of a false lull around, to think, I'm using perhaps OneDrive or Google Drive or something like that. That's all backed up, isn't it? Right? To a certain extent, yes, but it won't protect you if somebody really went at your business. If they could wipe out that data, and you may have some real difficulties getting that information back. So backups.
Would you always recommend having a offline, SSD backup?
Well, actually, that's a good point, because we're very much used to having online backups, but for ease, for simplicity, we think it's all going to be sort of in one place and synced. But actually, if an attacker is good enough, and we've seen this with certain types of ransomware, they'll just delete your backups as well if they can get hold of them on an online drive. So actually having an offline backup, a good old-fashioned USB drive or something like that isn't actually such a bad idea. So you can use some offline backups, or just have a really good online backup system that really helps protect against ransomware as well. The final thing would be actually to have a plan for when you do get attacked, because you never want to use it. It's that kind of break glass kind of thing that you never really want to have to use it. But if you don't have a plan in place for how you would deal with something like this, you honestly you'll face such a quite a difficult time of trying to recover. So having some sort of a plan in place, it always does help with that, and knowing where you can get that support from as well.
Yes. Sort of leads me on to the next question, I guess, because I'm going to pull up this graphic and hopefully we can both see it at the same time. Let's say my company's got 20 or 30 or 50 people in it, and I've got an IT guy on board, so I think I'm safe and secure and everything else. Here we go. Let's pull up this. Let's see if we can get this into there. Hold on.
Yeah, I can see.
Shift F6. Shift and 6. Okay, didn't quite work how I wanted to. But anyway, I'll take that down because we can all have a quick look about all the sort of services that you do there. Maybe we could run through. I'm a business owner. I've got an IT guy. Why do I need help from Shout Cyber? What else can you add to the party?
Yeah, so I think it's one of the sort of common things I do come across around. I do have an IT service provider. That means I'm going to be sorted, for my cybersecurity as well, right? And that's very true. There's lots of really great IT service providers out there that have, additional security sort of services. So we call those MSSPs, so managed services, security service providers, and they're there to really help with some of the kind of security controls. So absolutely, email scanning, web filtering, antivirus, those types of controls are all covered. And it's very easy to think, yeah, that's everything. But actually, in this day and age, you're probably using a lot of SaaS software within your business. So you're going to be using lots of different types of software. You'll probably have something like a Xero or a QuickBooks for your accounting software. You'll have a CRM system, whether that's HubSpot or Salesforce or something like that. You'll have another piece of software for managing social media management. You'll have something else for marketing. So there's a lot of different sort of SaaS cloud-based systems out there, which actually the IT service provider won't cover. They won't know who you're using in that regard. They won't be able to see what technical controls they have in place.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they won't know what you're using for a password, or whether you're using, a bit of multi-factor authentication. So there's the supplier management side of things that, to sort of manage and work through. The other side as well is actually, how do you translate all the good stuff you're doing, so that you can actually tell your customers about, how your business is actually compliant and secure.
Yes, well, that's the bit about the geek speak, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, absolutely.
Translating it into human being language.
Yeah, absolutely. So taking those very technical controls at times and actually putting it into something that's a little bit more friendly, whether that includes some certifications, so things like Cyber Essentials, for example, that many businesses take on. The other side of this as well is helping with your clients, where they ask you those questions and provide you with those sometimes quite lengthy questionnaires around, well, how do you manage your compliance? How do you manage your data protection and GDPR elements as well? Which, depending on who you're using as an IT service provider, you probably wouldn't, you wouldn't necessarily touch data protection as a whole either. So there's there's lots of different facets that, whilst IT service providers do a really great job, it's not covering every single facet of your sort of cybersecurity or your information or data security either. So that's where you do need a little bit of additional help from another sort of expert as well.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I've worked with you now for quite some time, and yeah, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without your support. So personally, thank you for helping me in my role to do my job and make sure, we're compliant on the side that we do things, which is
absolutely very, very welcome.
Yeah, and it is, for everyone out there, it is actually a relief having someone with the right knowledge on board to assist in those matters. So you never know you're going to go wrong or too far wrong, because you've got the expert on hand. And having dealt with you, Tristan, I know you're always there on call, which is another good thing. So in terms of sort of how you work with your clients, are you in there for a month? Are you in there for a day? Is it how does it all work?
Well, it very much depends on the client's requirements to this. So I am very client led, but it typically starts with a kind of discovery phase, a discovery session, where I work with any client that comes on board with me to understand, well, what's, not just about what security have you got in place, but what is your business? What services does it provide? What's important to you? What kind of data do you sort of capture? So there's that discovery exercise that I do with customers, and I actually offer that as a free consultation. So it's a free 1 hour consultation. Anybody can book that in on my website and start to get a bit of an understanding about their business and where perhaps they have some potential gaps. And then it's really client-driven, client-led in terms of understanding, right, what are these issues, where are the risks, and how do we start to address that? And for some clients, that's quite simple as having a look at their public-facing website. So I know we're going to be talking with a web designer very shortly, and so whether it's looking at their public website and making sure that they've got the good compliance activities like a proper privacy notice, a proper cookie banner, and the website manages cookies well, got a terms of use, and also a bit of sort of security around your sort of WordPress installation or your Squarespace installation, just to make sure that you've got that front end all covered through. For some other clients, it may be that we're going down a more certification-based route. They want to have a look at something like Cyber Essentials or ISO 27001, or they want to get some better controls in place. They want to have a look at their IT and see, are we aligned to good practice? Are we actually protected, or is there some sort of issues there? And some of the other ones is looking at some of their SaaS providers, which is always an interesting one, actually, when you're dealing with providers that are based perhaps outside the UK and Europe, so where there's different data protection legislation or different standards for security, and understanding that you've got the right framework to allow sort of data to be transferred as well.
Brilliant. That all sounds
hopefully that makes sense, but yes.
It's good. It's all I'd advise is anyone to just have a conversation with Tristan at the end of the day. If you're in any doubt about your security, governance, anything like that, then risk assessments, then obviously have a chat with Tristan. But what we like to do now, Tristan, we're rapidly running out of time, but I want to ask you this. So I'm going to ask you a little question now. We've got about 10-20 seconds to think about while the VT plays, and let's find out. So here we go. So, inspiration, Tristan, growing up now in the past.
I'm probably going to show way too much of my geeky side answering this. So you'll know this, Andrew, but a few others will know this as well. That so growing up, I was very much into science fiction, very much into Star Trek.
Yes.
So probably one of my sort of inspirations, sort of growing up, watching things like Star Trek, were the likes of Jean-Luc Picard, from Star Trek Next Generation, Benjamin Sisko from DS9, those kind of leadership characters where they were firm, fair, but also doing the right thing. So that really, that amongst many other influences in my life, helped to sort of form that kind of value of ethics and ethos and about doing the right thing, I think.
Yes.
Probably sort of more coming into adulthood. Oh crikey, that's a more of a tricky one. There are those real life kind of heroes of the moment that you kind of look at, and you think that you aspire to, you want to be more like those people. And possibly at the moment, with everything that's going on in the world, there's especially sort of in Ukraine with President Zelensky. I think a lot of people at the moment would, look at the kind of figure that he is, what he's doing in his country, and actually where he had that opportunity to leave, to be evacuated, and he said, no, actually, I'm going to stay. I'm going to fight. I'm going to do the right thing here. So, that's possibly at the moment the probably
the hero status. Yeah, give me an AK-47 and let's show some leadership.
Maybe not go that far, but yeah.
No, but that's that's the extreme end. But that's what he's doing, isn't it? I suppose ultimately fighting for your country. So obviously our thoughts go out to everyone in Ukraine and anyone who knows anyone, and they're struggling with it at the moment. So. Yeah, thoughts go out to you. But just quickly, Tristan, we are rapidly running out of time. If someone wants to get hold of you, how would they do that?
So I have a website, shoutcyber.co.uk. You can also email me at tristan@shoutcyber.co.uk. And if you wanted to book a discovery session with me, if you go onto my website, there is a link for a discovery session. And there's a Calendly that you can book yourself in for a free 1-hour session to have a chat with me.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tristan. Really interesting as always, and we wish you all the best. And at some point we'll get you back, and you can keep us posted what's happening in the world of cyber, and any stats about what's happened over the last month or two, whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely would love to.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thank for having me.
All right, thanks, Tristan. So thank you once again to Tristan at Shout Cyber. And I also want to thank all the women in the Cobra Club. At the start of the show, I played a VT, which is Women's Day, International Women's Day yesterday on the 8th of March. So big thank you to all the Cobra Club leaders doing a fantastic job, and celebrate International Women's Day. So brilliant stuff. So what we're going to do in a moment, we have got Lucia coming in to the room. But first of all, we're going to play another little VT. And when we come back, we shall have Lucia here. So here we go. Hello, Lucia.
Hello, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Welcome to the Gritty Business Show. You're live on LinkedIn. How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. You know, I had to come out of my comfort zone, really.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at myself. I've never done this before, seriously.
No, that's absolutely fine. Most of the people we get on the show, Lucia, have never done this before. Tristan, just before you, have never done this before. So you're in good company, and we're going to take it gently today and find out a little bit about your business, a bit about you, and what you do and why you do it and how you do it and who you do it to. But let's start, first of all, a little bit about yourself, Lucia, and where have you come from? Not in terms of, geography, but, your career leading you up to sort of where you are now.
I'm not a good speaker, so you excuse me if I've never been a good speaker. So I wasn't always doing web design and photography. I actually have a musical background. I'm a trained classical musician.
Wow.
I used to be a church organist.
Wow.
Here in the UK. Yeah, but to make living of music now, it's very hard. So it's you need to have a lot of connections and a lot of acquaintances and a lot of networking to be able to make a living of music. So as I also like technology, so I went to study to university. I studied music technology.
Yes.
Where I learned how to use a computer, how to produce music on a computer, because before university I didn't really know how to use a computer.
Yes.
You laugh at it. So but when I finished university, I decided to go into IT because I liked working with computers. I got hooked on it, and I was in IT for several years. Because yes.
I think it's the same. Same part of the brain. It's numbers and structures, and if you can read music, you're far more likely to be able to sort of read and code. Is that sort of?
Yes.
Some people are creative. Some people are very sort of. What's the word? Sort of scientific, and some people are very numeric, and some people are very sort of vocal, I suppose. But I guess you're coming from that sort of patterns, structures sort of side, I suppose, and you've got the creativity side too. So I suppose that all works hand in hand together, doesn't it?
Yes, I wasn't always. Actually, I always thought that I wasn't creative, that it wasn't myself. I was more technical, but then at some point I started to realize that I missed creative side. I was kind of a bit boring of being only technical. It just I became like a robot, only technical things, networking, just switches, routers. And I thought that I would like to create things, to visually, and the other reason I wanted to switch, because I was in employment all the time and it didn't work very well for me. I realized that employment wasn't for me. It's age discrimination, one thing, but another thing, it was very hard for me to be under someone's, like to have a boss looking at my shoulder and tell me what to do. I'm not the kind of person that I want someone tell me what to do and how to do it. I wanted to be independent and decide for myself. And because IT, my knowledge wasn't something, my skills and knowledge in IT, it was only that I could work in a domain environment with servers. So I didn't have any skills that would allow me to become self-employed. So while I was still in employment in IT, I started to learn web design because it was an idea that I was thinking about years before, but I thought that it would, I would ruin my site and looking at the computers. So I resigned from it. But then I recall that I wanted to design websites, and I started to learn it really very, very much. I learned like crazy, and I was learning. I learned how to code. I spent a lot of time sitting in the code. And
Yes.
then I was learning Photoshop and Illustrator, and then at some point I was learning how to edit images. Like on a course, I was editing someone's images, and I thought that would be nice to edit my own images. So I thought, it would be nice to learn photography as well. And so I just started to learn photography. I did lots of online courses, just maybe hundreds of different courses. I just was learning course after course after course.
Yes.
I learned graphic design, color theory, typography, everything, like whatever was possible to learn, because I thought, I'm not that young anymore, and I need to study. I needed to have more skills than someone younger who just only knows how to take pictures, or someone who just know how to.
Yes. So you would have become.
No, a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can relate to that.
I was learning and learning, and like I was. It's not that I just quit my job. No, I just lost my job. I was let go. I was made redundant, and I was 2 years. I was unemployed. Yeah, and then I asked Job Center whether they could send me on a new. I found out about new enterprise allowance. They help people who want to become self-employed. So I asked to be referred to this program, and there was opportunity to apply for a small loan because I didn't have a good photo camera. So they helped to create a business plan for me, and then I applied for a small loan. I bought a camera and a professional lens, but they had a deadline that after approving my business plan, I had to register as self-employed within 3 months. Though I wasn't really ready for that. I had no idea about business, how to run a business. I didn't know anything about marketing, about advertising, about how to promote. I didn't even know who my audience was, who my client were.
Yes.
So I registered as self-employed. I declared to Job Center that I want to be that I'm registered, that I'm ready for trading. Yeah, but I didn't do really anything. I was working on my website, on my 2 websites actually, and I was make them perfect.
Yeah, well, let's whilst we're talking, let's go through, and I'll pull these up on the screen, and maybe you could comment about each one. Let's go through some of the websites you've done first of all. So we've got this one here.
This is for my client's website. This is a new client that I actually posted in New Enterprise Allowance. I sent the post that I was looking for trial clients that I'm startup myself, and I posted in the group for startups. And this was my first client actually, and it's still work in progress. It's on my subdomain, and I've done all the design, and then she sent me some content.
Yes.
I even wrote a little bit myself because I like the way it came out.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And she was really happy. She likes it, and she already signed an agreement, and I'm just waiting for her. There's a little bit of writing that she needs to do, and then I will add her domain to my hosting account, and then transfer the website to her host. And this is my potential client.
Okay.
They are not my client yet, but I already I've done some design for them. Because just probably they did it themselves, so it didn't really have a good job.
That's good.
This is my own photography website. My first website, I coded it up from scratch. No, but WordPress. Other websites I did in WordPress, and this is just the code, pure code.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I changed it a couple of times. I always,
Yeah.
I don't know, I was just revisiting it and always something to change, And this is my another client. We haven't signed an agreement yet because she's a bit slow. She's very busy and has problems. So she likes already what I've done, and I'm just waiting. I sent a proposal for her and waiting to hear back.
Well, fingers crossed. Definitely look.
Baby steps.
Yeah. No, we've all got to start somewhere in business, but obviously you've definitely got an eye for it. You've got the talent, you've got the coding, you've got the all-round sort of knowledge that anyone would need to get this off the ground, and I suppose add extra value in what you can offer. But in terms of, obviously, we've spoken about websites, and you've got that part of the business. And a little while ago, you mentioned about photography. So not only obviously do websites, photography, and I suppose portraits of people. And does that then move on to sort of products? I suppose if someone's got a website, they need products sort of photographed. Could you do that as well?
Yes, I'm not really a product photo, because I've started as a portrait photographer. I learned about posing, about lighting, about it as a portrait photographer. But it's on my, it's something that I need to do as well, because normally website, when someone wants to sell things or provide the services and they have some products or premises even, I need to do it as well. So, but I need to, it's a learning curve as well. It's not simple to just pick up a camera and press a shutter button. I wasn't aware myself before I started to learn photography, because a lot of people say that, you just need a camera, just press a shutter button and photo happens. It's not like that. A lot of things to consider. It's a big knowledge. I was surprised myself when I started to learn, and many people are not aware of that. Photography is a big subject. It's a big knowledge to know exactly, because I see a lot of even websites or social media profiles. The websites are not professional. I see, it's just not flattering. They may be handsome or pretty, ladies, but the photos that they have there, many photos are not flattering. They don't show exactly what the person is,
So what I'm going to do then, Lucia, I know we spoke about web design, but I'm going to ask you, and then we're going to show some photos after this of what you've previously done. But I'm going to ask you for 1, 2, 3 top tips to take the perfect shot. But hold on, here we go. So you want to take the perfect shot. What do I need to do?
Yeah, first of all, it's always you need to examine the subject. You need to know, because for every person it would be different. You can't position everyone at the same pose, at the same environment. So first of all, I always look at the person, their face, their hair, their how they are built, whether they are thin or they are chubby, and then, it's true. Like you really need. There is different pose for every kind of person. For example, someone is chubby, you can't take the same photo shoot as a slim person. You need to position them in a flattering way, because no one wants to look fat on the photos, right? So there are tricks. You need to learn the tricks. The person, when you look at it, you can't see that the person is chubby or fat. Yes, it's a lot to consider. And slim person, obviously, you can't if you don't know what you're doing, you can't make them really look, very skinny or with a big head,
Yes. Well, there's some good color contrast on this picture. Color contrast, I guess.
Green and red, because I think about, before I start photo shooting, before even I arrange the session, I think about what I want to achieve, what colors I want to. And I really like to shoot outdoors.
There you go. We've got this one here.
Yeah, so it's you need to learn about lighting a lot, because obviously if the person needs to be in the center, it's there is a rule, whatever is lighter in the photo, the eyes goes there, and you don't want your eyes to go somewhere, in the something in the background. You want your eyes go to the subject. Yeah, so the face, and the face specifically, not on their arms or legs or whatever is there in a piece of clothes, something shiny that distracts an eye. The eyes need to go on the person's face, because the face is the most important thing. That is, this is my middle daughter. Yeah, I love black and white photos.
Yeah, I mean, you can't help but look at the face there, can you? It's
it's just an eyes specifically. The eyes, like they say, the eyes are the window, the soul, the window to the soul. Yeah, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like old-fashioned.
Brilliant. Yeah. No, I like them all. You're obviously very talented at what you do, and it's.
I like it. I love making people to look nice and for them to be happy. I'm just kind of, I don't even see like they sometimes say, oh, there are competitors. Like if you are a designer, you should avoid other designers because they are competitors. I'm not like that. I think it's nice to collaborate, and I always happy to, if I see someone's website, web designer's website, and that there's something wrong, something that could be improved, I want to help. I want to approach that person and say, look, you can fix this, you can make it better. And if someone criticizes my website, because with my own eyes, it may seem to be perfect, but someone with a fresh eye may think, oh, that button is not really.
Yes. The hardest thing is to
pointed me out.
Yeah, so the hardest thing is to do stuff for yourself, and always getting that second pair of eyes is and collaboration, as you said, is the key.
Yeah, it's very important. And it's nice because we need to learn from each other. There's always room for improvement. And if someone, criticize my website in a good way, or I give a feedback on someone else's website, that this is, it helps us to grow professionally.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Completely. Now, Lucia, we're rapidly running out of time. It's amazing where the time actually goes. But seeing as you're sort of musically minded and, obviously being a musician in the past, I'd like to know a little bit about sort of your music taste. So watch this VT and then let's see what you say when So it wasn't that long ago, Lucia, but what was the first record that you bought? Or CD? Well, it wasn't CD. I guess it was a record.
Oh, I think, when I was young, I was studying in conservatoire. Yeah, I bought my own record player and a couple of records of, I think, Whitney Houston, I think.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that was first record that I bought for when I was living independently, and then some church organ music, because I really started to love church organ, and I bought, I think it was Evgenia Lisitsina from Latvia, her record of organ pieces like Bach. I love Bach.
And are you still playing the organ now, are you? Are you still playing the church?
No, unfortunately, no. I didn't really. I had my own digital organ at some point, and I had to sell it because I needed money. Now I don't really have time for music. I still have one girl that I teach piano.
Okay.
But I don't really have time. This web design and this business, now I'm working on it. It's a lot of things to do. Networking. It takes all my time. I don't have any hobbies. I don't have time for anything else.
it's welcome to the self-employed world, especially in the first few years. To get the business
A lot of work. It's much easier to be employed. You just go to work, 9 to 5, come home and do whatever you like.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I used to have the saying, Lucia, if starting a business was that easy, everyone would be doing it. It's not that easy.
I understand now.
And, you know, hopefully you're in a good place and you got support people in the Cobra Club, and you'll pick up so much knowledge there and how to do things, you know, in your business. And just, I suppose, keep the momentum going, keep growing, keep meeting people. And eventually, if you do enough of that, you'll end up getting there. But it's not for the faint-hearted, starting up a business. And you know, it's here that you do have a plan. And yeah, but we wish you all the best, Lucia. So just quickly,
thank you for inviting me to give us this opportunity.
Oh no, that's absolutely a pleasure. So just on the last note there, in terms of someone wants to get hold of you, how do they do it?
Yes, they can text me or connect on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is, I think, it's a good. I like really LinkedIn, and there's the quicker way to write me a message if someone is interested in my services or to suggest something. Just drop me a message on LinkedIn, or you can send a message on info@sonicwebdesign.co.uk, or just text me.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm very open. I'm very friendly.
Always up for a conversation.
I will help everyone.
Brilliant. Okay, Lucia, I want to say thank you ever so much for today. It's been a pleasure having you on board, and we'll see you again soon. All right, take care.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Wow, thank you to Lucia there for all her expertise and guidance in website design and photography. I think she enjoyed it. Brilliant. Thank you, Lucia. We're not going to have time for a big play out today, but I just want to shout out a few events we got in the club. So starting with the Networking Business Generator every Wednesday at 11 a.m. with Kath Kirkland. We've got a few other events on at the moment. We've got the Cobra Hive Mastermind with #1 Amazon bestselling author Beverly Lockett. So come along to that on a Wednesday afternoon. We've also got Cobra Strike with Chris Mason, weekly on Thursday. That's another great networking event. A few others we've got Titan Troubleshooters with Katrina Ellis, which is every Friday. It's every Friday morning now, 10 a.m. Let's change that card. Next one up, Mr. Alan Cadden, the Cobra Express, every Friday at 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., which is brilliant. We've got the classic, which is Ed's Monday Motivation, sales strategy, tips and tricks, and getting you together and to collaborate and all sorts of things like that. It's Monday Motivation every Monday at 9 a.m. We've got Zaf's meeting on a Monday evening, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. up in the West Midlands. We've got David Lockett's event, the Investment Lounge, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Let Mr. Lockett put some money in your pocket and learn all about investment strategies. And it's just all knowledge, really. A couple more, just quickly. We've also got First Thing Friday, every Friday morning with Louise Montblanc, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., all the way down on the South Coast. We've got the Make It Happen Hub with Elaine Atherton, Wednesday at 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., another sales and accountability hub, ideal for those business owners who want to sort of, up their sales. So head to that one. Last but not least, I want to show you Judas event, Quest West, every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. There's plenty more than that at the Cobra Club. If you want to come and find out more, why don't you drop us a line or visit www.thecobraclub.co.uk. So we've got a big community platform being launched on the 22nd this month with a new website, which is great. Snacks going on inside the club, loads of business being passed, so it'd be great to see you there. So come on board. On the website we do a virtual tour. You can come along and find out what it's all about. It's only 30 minutes and it's only a chat, so take that up. Okay, so really that's it for today, folks. Next week, who have we got next week? We've got Gillian Schofield from Custom Copy, expert copywriter, or blog writer, or social media writer, and Mr. Zafran Khan himself will be in the building. So once again, I want to thank Tristan. I want to thank Lucia. I want to thank everyone at the Cobra Club. I want to thank all the leaders and all the ladies out there for International Women's Day. Great seeing you all, and we'll see you soon. So let me find the right button, and then let's play us out with this. He says, we are getting there.
Now you're watching me, yeah, all eyes on me, 'cause I've been living the good life. So come fly with me into my fantasy, and we be loving the good life, good life.
I think this dream now just hit me. Why don't you just go there with me? Surf in the skies and splash in the clouds, dance in the crowds and laugh out loud. Holding your hand, unfolding a plan. Two souls in a land like gold in a pan. Float in the breeze or soak in the sea. Come go there with me where we both wanna be. Lie on the beach or fly in the streets. I'm trying to keep this vine in the reach. Putting everything I do aside, me and you are first. We can travel to the very end of the universe. You and me are meant to be divine energy. Living with no rules in a pool of serenity. Come be my fantasy, go away with me. Lock us up in a dream and throw away the keys. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. We need to rise with these new eyes. Pull the disguise off of these blue skies. Lights in the city reflect off the shoreline. When you're living this life, you want more time. Rewind the time, align planets. Ride this comet to a new dynamic. Your eyes on me, mine on you. Living the good life, we do what
Now
we
you're
want to.
watching me, yeah, all